CSI 5-Star Major League Show Jumping Grand Prix. And during the $450,000 CSI 5-Star Major League Show Jumping Grand Prix tomorrow, the Desert International Horse Park is supporting Urani's Village, founded by Jennifer Crooks. And we hope that many of our exhibitors and spectators will join our efforts. Urani's Village is a family-style permaculture-based village for orphan children with comprehensive care for the children they serve, deeply rooted in their local community. It is intended as a model that can be adapted to empower and transform orphan care systems. The ultimate vision is to help ensure these communities have access to clean water and sanitation, sustainable agriculture, excellent medical care, quality educational opportunities, and economic stability. And tomorrow, portion of all drinks purchased at the Roadrunners Tiki Bar that goes to Urani's Village. Dolman Jump Company built a custom Urani's Village fence to be part of the first round of the Grand Prix. Individuals and groups can choose how much to pledge for each time a rider clears the fence in round number one. And also additional donations can be made through pledge cards located at the bar and through the VIP, as well as at the Urani's Village table inside our VIP pavilion. Let's have a look at these 16 jumping efforts designed by Alan Wade from Tipperary Island, fence number one. And that is the CP Canadian Pacific signature fence. And that Oxer right in front of the judges stand onto the Premier Equestrian vertical at fence number two. Wrap back around, left-hand turn. They come back towards the in-gate. And we have the wicket kickers at the standards of fence number three. The doors at fence number four. And straight down to the first of two combinations on bed standards at fence number eight. We have that skinny plank over fence number eight on flat cups, so certainly one of the fences. That's a very delicate fence. Major League Show Jumping Oxer at fence number 9 as it comes straight down to fence number 10. Second of the combinations on course. That's fence number 11, A, B, and C. Oxer into the one stride to get out to the B element of that triple combination. 2 strides to fence number 11C. Well, fence number 12 that comes up next, that has the stone standards, those piled stone standards, and fence number 13. And that has the polo mallets at our final fence in round number 1. As mentioned, we do have a field of 28 horse rider combinations, $74,200, and that is up for grabs with 10 nations represented. And presented by CWD. CWD is a high-range saddle maker dedicated to the rider's sporting performance and investments in all fields. Venezuela, Brazil, Israel, Argentina, Ireland, Mexico, Canada, and of course the host nation of the United States. And ladies and gentlemen, as we move towards the top of the order, first of 28, I would ask you to please rise as we honor the host nation with the playing of the national anthem of the United States of America. And certainly the perfect way to start our CWD $74,200 FEI 5-star competition. And we are under FEI International Equestrian Federation rules, offering 100 events, and that is 4 balls first refusal, 4 balls second refusal. That does the elimination. Length on course 490 meters. So they've got these horse rider combinations of the 490 meters on course. They exceed that time allowed at 79 seconds. They will pick up 1 time fault per second or part thereof over our time allowed. 28 starters in round number 1. In the event we do do have an equality of false time for the lead after that first round. We are going to bring them back for that jump-off round. That'll be over the shortened course in our FEI competition this evening, our five-star competition, again, kindly presented by CWD. CWD, a high-range saddle maker dedicated to the rider sporting performances, focused on politics of innovation and investments in all fields. At CWD, sport and performance are an obsession. CWD saddles are on display at the Desert Holiday Series, and alongside the best riders in the world, CWD 78 stands out for its innovative custom saddles and the quality of its equipment. So make sure you visit the booth here at the 2022 Desert Holiday Series, week number 2 and week number 3, as we're in the middle week right now. So again, fences numbered 1 through 13, 16 jumping efforts set by Alan Wade from Tipper.
And our first rider right there, and that is the first to go. And that is Nicholas Pizzato, the rider owner, in fact, of Mike
CWD
Wazowski. That is the horse. This entry
first time allowed is 79 seconds in, as I mentioned, jump-off class. So potential 2 rounds to this
so
one.
Our first entry for Mexico, and that is Nicholas Pizzato and Mike Wazowski.
And another very good lineup with Nicholas Pizzato of Mexico starting us off. Nick, of course, with a terrific record in the sport itself. Nicky rode at the Olympics in 2012, won in Atomi in the last few weeks as well. Finished second there in the big class, second in the Grand Prix in Jalapa as well, and top 4 in the Grand Prix in Monterrey. So very much coming in here on form on a very nice 10-year-old by Belus de Reventon, which is a very good horse that's been ridden to several big championship finishes in the last few years, and certainly major team competitions as well. Nick then to lead the way, and this is what had become a more experienced combination together, the Hanoverian out of Selena. Alan Wade, our course designer here tonight and throughout the week for the competitions for Major League Jumping into the final stages for this 5-star here at the Desert Horse Park. Cabana Coast, down to a 4-stride distance. Just had to get a little bit of engine going down there to the Butterflies at 7 at 155 in spread. Back to the Golden Horse, his heads, and that has got a plank on there at 1 meter 50. And from there down to another related line. Vertical on the way out at 150 as well. Just an easy one to flick away if they're not careful. Silver birch triple combination. Coming through on 1 stride and 2. Should be, I think, probably 7 strides up to 12. And then a little last fence, well, a fence sitting alone. It's not that little. It is 1 meter 50 again at the last. But Nick Pizzato, unsurprisingly, gives us the first the clears on at 77.16. So cruises round inside that time of 79 as well. But not a big surprise with that lovely combination coming together once again. So 1 out of the starting blocks, and it gives us 1 clear on the very first one to go. CWD class, jump-off class here in the Grand Prix Stadium here tonight. Patricio Pascal, also of Mexico. Another one with lots on the experience list, including the World Championships this year. And for Patricio, team silver medalist at the Pan Ams previously, 2 for Mexico. That was back in 2019. Winner in Jalapa, winner in Calgary back in September. Also been a very good rider for the teams this year. And for him, rode onto the teams in La Sierra a few weeks ago. With Seringat, which is a horse with plenty of experience at 16 years of age. Being competed by several top riders and stays with another now. Now the time of Nicholas Pizzato around in 77.16, so just a second or so inside that time allowed, 79 seconds, and he wasn't hanging around. So that might just be a little bit of a squeezing issue for a couple. Patricio got a good pace on this so far. It's down there on the 4 okay to the Butterflies, then just balancing back up. Nice forward run at the plank. Not even thinking about that in terms of the dangers of it. Should get down on the 6 to the CWD vertical at 1.50 m. Then this triple combination. Two very good combinations to start us off that could well find the key here. Just a little touch on the way out the triple. Steadying. And then the final fence. Get all the momentum going and then just have to bring things back for the polo fence the last 78-14. And so again, good enough to be in there, and in terms of time, and clear there for Patricio Pascal and Serengap, but two strong starters in this CWD jump-off class here tonight. Toro Parada and Pandora 258. The 14-year-old had a variant for the mare with that. Next to go for a rider who was top 3 in the Grand Prix just a few weeks ago in Monterey as well. That was with the Grey Bacot. Also seen competing here this week. Toro, part of the local Roadrunners team. Of course, the conclusion last night. If you haven't already seen it and you weren't with us, you can head over to the various methods. Head over to the Major League Show Jumping app and catch up on that, because that was a nail biter to finish off. YouTube channels as well. Seem to be getting the key to this course so far. There's a little more space back to this golden vertical. Just nice forward shot on the 6. Still looking good. This is where they need the control. Taking those with ease again, up to 150 for this class. Time's looking very good indeed. Shouldn't be an issue. Just got to be careful at the last, and they step over that, make that look straightforward enough again. It's up to 150. 3 out of 3 so far, and it is 3 for Mexico. Nicolas Pizarro, Patricio Pascal, and Toro Parada as the clears so far. And we've so far only had 3, so that's a very good kickoff point for those, but might make things a little tough when we come to that jump off if we get a big number there. Luis Pedro Berben, Chaco Bumpy for the Argentinian rider. Again, a man with great credentials, having been part of the World Championships in 2018, Pan Am silver medalist previous to that, Grand Prix winner in Lexington back in May earlier on this year as well. And this has been a well-established partnership with this 12-year-old by Chaco Blue. So now the nerves go a little bit. They're wanting to keep up that record of the clears so far. Cool, calm, collected as ever.
That's top team this season, Team Helios. I won't spoil it if you haven't watched the coverage yet. It is Archibald and Garfield, but a very competitive night for them last night. For Starhorn, the new ride for the 11-year-old gelding by Chelthago Zez for Ashley. Grand Prix that we saw just a few weeks ago. An emotional win for her down in Monterey, Mexico. Still on the clear at the moment. They're all handling this course very well so far. Just going to come on number 4 though. Just over the back bar of that Major League fence. 9. On the 4 move up to the Oxford Times Good. But unfortunately the fence down will mean they're quietly out for the evening now. And there we go, good time, 76.04, but just dropping the 4th. It's a fairly new combination, as I say, just in a couple of FBI shows together. Ashley Bonds and Garfield looking good. There'll be more to come for them over the next 6 months plus, but they will finish on the 4th. So Nick Pizarro, Patricio Pascal, and Dora Parada with the clear so far. 2-time for Lewis Run down to sit on the sidelines. Ruben Winkleman, another win for him already this week as well for the German rider. Finished well last week. Here's the early classes. I can go off horses, Conrad. Right, Chris Starr, very good. 9 could be very good 9-year-olds with Rupert so far. Steady-ish start for them, and just deliberate and accurate at this point. Touch on the back, just need a nice move up here to get it does a little more pace and impulsion through the next double. Just steady and coming into the Oxo. Coping with this pretty well so far. Nice move up, time's looking okay, and it'll be a good balance round there at 76.58 for Rupert Winkleman and Conrad for the German rider jumping clear there to join those so far for very early stages of this CWD jump of class. Park LLC, the 10-year-old by Sentinel for children. Grand Prix winner here last year in the final stages of the Desert Horse Park, also the Grand Prix in Vancouver. Back into something back a few weeks ago as well. Unfortunately, just gets underneath the first part of that Oxo. It's a little forward on the floor there to have the butterflies down. Through the triple combination.
Ken Farrington now and the US rider, top US rider with the Orofina Grand Prix winners earlier on this season. We saw him win the Grand Prix in Ottawa as well, but we've seen Kent in the #1 position on top of the podium on many an occasion, right the way through to being on the podiums at Olympic Games as well. Kent with the Orofina now 10 years of age, the Dutch-bred mare by For Fashion. Suitably now handling the 5-star Grand Prix this year on this lovely horse. Starts off with a quick forward go, as they do. Jumps well and quickly through the double. Still looking good. Super horse with some good bravery and fire about her as well. Cruises around here, flies around at a different pace to the rest so far. Going to be around in about 73 seconds. 73.64 and looking a real danger for the class later on. Just dips a toe in there. But on the clear for Ken Farrington and Orofina giving us clear round number 5. Mavis Spencer now, the Californian US rider, just returned from a successful trip to Europe as well, where she was on the US teams at several of those 3-star Nations Cups through Spain and through Portugal on a very nice 9-year-old gelding by Cascadello. This is Carissimo 25. The pair now headed back to US soil. So 5 clears to date with Nicholas Pizarro, Patricio Pascal, Toro Parada, Rupert Winkelmann and Kent Farrington at this point. Mavis coming into, I think, her first 5 stars here last year. Now moving up more, has become ever more comfortable into the big FEI classes. Stretch out over the 150 Oxer on the way out of the Palms double. Nice tidy jump into the 4-stride distance of the Cabana Coast. Just lands nice and short in there. Give themselves space to get through that. Chases to get a little more impulsion to get across. Just trying to take care at this CWD vertical. Just saying, wait for me. Now, Keeley into this Silver Oaks. Triple. Steps through there. Eyes on, gets the focus. Takes a run. Time-wise, he's going to run a little bit close, just a little bit steady in a couple of places, but it's a really nice round put together, 80.37. Just going to be the 2 there for Mavis Spencer as this 9-year-old gets more experience into these big classes. Airborne over the stones, parallel, without too much trouble, but leaves them with a couple on the scoreboard there. 2 for Mavis and Carissimo 25. Bliss Here's the Bridgeside Farms of Las Vegas is Goodbye, the 11-year-old mare by Eldorado. It'll be interesting to see some of the combinations coming out here with what's being, which horses are then going to be coming out for tomorrow's big Grand Prix. It's a little bit of a wider turn to the Woodpecker's vertical, but this is a fairly quick, skippy combination. Just making sure they don't drift coming into this four-stride related line. Just drops down short on the Oxer. And just loses height to the middle of the triple. So going to be coming home on the 8. Time's going to be no problem, but it is going to be 8-4. In fact, time might be a little bit close, actually, looking at this. What, 78.9 the time allowed. So 79.17 puts them to a total of 9. So 1 time in there as well for Bliss Hears and Goodbye. So not a million miles in there in terms of space to leave to make the time allowed. Seen a couple of those with a couple of time. Bell goes for Chandler Meadows and Connacht for another of the locally based Californian riders who's been really stepped over the last couple of years. Nicely ran so far for Chandler and Connacht. Now well-established partnership with this 12-year-old. Looking good and confident over 8. Oh, another one just falls short. It's just a fraction off that Oxer to have the Major League Oxer down. Maybe a little close to time as well. Just going to tip over. 78.62, so no, just inside, in fact. So just finishing on the 4. Nice round for Chandler Meadows and Connacht. Just finishing on the 4 faults for them. But handling it pretty well most of the way. Just that one rail dropping for them. It seems to be the same rail. It's fallen for quite a few so far. So finishes on 4. Lorcan Gallagher now. Copycat for the Lost Lake Farm. For the Irishman who's been Florida-based for a long time, spending a little time based here in California for some of the winter now. Aboard this 9-year-old by Comme Il Faut. Looking on this very good-looking 9-year-old. Still looking good at the moment. Picks up nicely, very tidy in front. Wait. Just a little bit of fiddling there coming down that line. Lorcan just trying to set them up for that Oxer. And just leaves them at 77.08. So just dropping the one rail there to finish on the 4 for Lorcan Gallagher and Copycat. Tenevere and Ballard now, and Kelana Denfer, the 9-year-old by Kidam de Revel for Erin. A newer partnership into the tail end of 2022 for the World Championship rider. Stretches out easily enough across that 155 Oxer. A little bit deeper into the golden vertical. Again, another one just reaching there, doesn't quite make it across. 155 again. Just another one, just hangs back a little coming into that first part of that related distance. Just going to bring her home on the 4 faults and 77.754 there for Erin Ballard and Kelana Denfer. Caitlin Campbell now and Fayon for the US rider based here in California these days, originally hailing from the East Coast. 12-year-old by Zazua that was placed, well, she was placed in the recent Las Vegas World Cup. Another regular with us throughout the Major League Jumping Tour throughout 2022. Caitlin now becoming more established again. Was a long run that she had with several horses into the World Cup level, now having returned to that in the last couple of seasons. Just a little quick down that line, sees the first couple of parts come down to the triple combination. Time's no trouble, but I think that might be a corrected time, in fact, but is going to be on the 8 there for Caitlin Campbell and Fayon, unfortunately. .74.44 final time for Caitlin. So those early clears, obviously still where they are, but a few poles falling since then. Nick Pizarro, Patricio Pascal, Arturo Parada, Ruben Winkleman, and Kent Farrington on the 0 score list at the moment. Paul Shana, Caracina, HD. Nice looking combination for the Trelawney Farm, the 11-year-old Holsteiner mare by Carico. It's a really good class for them with this horse that looks as though it's got Grand Prix potential to come out in the coming 12 months. Of course, he also has Chancellor S with the Trelawney Farm. Still looking good at the moment. Nice balanced, even rhythmical run down to the Oxer. Time should be just about okay. And 76.91 leaves them home and hosed. And giving us the 6th of the clears coming from Paul O'Shea this time, with another one in there this time for Ireland. And so Ireland, USA, Germany, and 3 for Mexico in this at this point. One or two starting off there with Kinky Boy, and unfortunately not quite the start they would have wanted with a fence down early on for the Venezuelan rider. And it's the second fence down now. This big jumping combination. Well, unfortunately, just doesn't improve, I'm afraid. Just somewhat unsettled into that triple, and I think they'll probably call it a day there as well, but One Ortiz and Kinky Boy not quite going to the round they wanted at the moment. Tough start with an early rail. So we're going to come back and get this combination going. Steady in. Has the scope to get through there, though. A little bit hesitant through it, looking for a more confident shot at the next, which they get. And so going to see them at 16 plus some time there, 85.71 for Juan Ortiz and Kinky Boy, final score 23. Amy Miller now, Cristiano for the Future Adventures, the 12-year-old by Canoso for the Canadian Olympian. Nice roll back there for Amy. Neat through the double, looking good so far. Gets a good move away with Cristiano. Several times been her team horse this season as well. Amy looking in confident mood too. Good move away up to this triple. Gets set and starts firing up through. Steps through easily enough, like a gymnastic exercise. There we go. Really nicely done for Miller and Cristiano. So they will add to the clears so far. 7 of those now on the board. And adding in the Canadians now. Ran in 73.74, so easy enough for time. Into that group, and 7 clears at the moment. Just around 28 to go in this class in total. From Amy Miller to Daniel Coyle. Daniel, last week's Grand Prix winner, returns now with Ariel Grange's Quintin. Recent return to ride this horse. Again for same owner, Ariel Grange, as a number of his top horses. And of course last week winning on Legacy superbly. Very good at picking off some speed classes, and this class should suit them as well here for Daniel. Just sits up, gets a nice balanced position on the turn. Just unfortunately doesn't have the ping down those final couple of fences on that line. One more to go will leave them on the 8 at 75.93. 8-falls there for Daniel Coyle and Quintin. Meanwhile, Kristen van der Veen, bull runs Prince of Peace. The 13-year-old Holsteiner by Cardenio Tune, a well-established pair now for Kristen. Based down in Florida, hailing originally from Illinois. Five-star Grand Prix winner before now. Prolific winner of classes over the last probably 4 or 5 seasons. Nice run recently in Ocala too, down in Florida. No hanging around for this pair. Just a tap at the back there. Still good. Just getting a little quick coming into that line. Has the first part down and the last part as well. Things just get a little fast. Just gives them a little usher up to the last fence. On the 8 there at 76.39, 8 there for Kristen van der Veen and bull runs Prince of Peace. Carrie Reefer now, Stern de Folletti. Nice winner in Sacramento a few weeks ago. And some very good rounds here last week back on the turf over at the grass arena. Stern de Folletti, the 11-year-old Holsteiner by Toulon. Carrie based literally just up the road here from the Desert Horse Park. Winning a number of classes over here on the West Coast. Throughout a very good career so far. Also spent time for several winters in Florida. Stern de Folletti now really taking over at the top of the string. That just not falling by much, but just gets a little lower on the way through there. Another one to just cut short on that Oxer. Going to leave them at 8 and 1 for time as well. A total of 9 overall and 79.03 for Carrie Reefer and Stern de Folletti this time. 9 for them, dropping a little further down the order. Natalie Dean to come onto the horizon. Chance Saint-Amel, which I haven't seen much of this week. Was that she rode onto the US team last year at Spruce Meadows. It would really probably be hard to pick through her string of horses at the moment. Very good string around a full stop from the Marigold Sport Horses of Palo Alto, California. It's 14-year-old by Calvaro FC that came into her stable a couple of seasons ago now, back into, I think, the tail end of 2020. Really nicely built up now. Again, one that's Very good at the big tracks, as I say, went very well in Spruce Meadows, suited them there too. Just unfortunately gets forward down that 4-stride distance and pulls away the front bar of the Oxer. Maybe a combination aimed at the Grand Prix tomorrow, we will see. A few options for Natalie. Touch of the back bar of the first part. Just a little look at the last. And we'll see them at 4 faults at 76.9 for Natalie Dean. And Chance Saamel. Still holding at the 7 clears so far in this CWD jump-off class. Simon McCarthy now. Simon for Team Helios. 3 times he's been on winning teams for Helios this season. Rockridge Farms, very good horse from those team competitions as well. Gotcha, the 11-year-old Holstein Bear by Staccato. Just a reminder too that tomorrow sees us with the $450,000 Grand Prix, the 5-star there at 6 o'clock tomorrow night local time. So that's what, 9 o'clock East Coast time. Simon built up a really nice partnership with this horse, and actually the Major League giving him a great opportunity to showcase he and this horse's talent and through his growing string of rides. Been a very good season for him into 2022. Firm hold down the line before giving the final 3 push to the Oxer. Looks like they'll be on our list as well, with Simon McCarthy and Gotcha putting up a very good round once again. So should give us the 8th of those clears so far. Simon time there of 75.42. Now, Vanessa Melix getting to the 12-year-old by winning mood for Vanessa. Again, had a really good finishing run to the season here for Major League, including that top 3 in the Grand Prix that we saw with Kingston back into Mexico. Getting a little bit more maturity on the age group at 12 years of age. And so on the 8 at the moment for Vanessa. So Caesar on the 8 at 79.51. So a little bit of time there too should be for Vanessa Mannings and Kitting de Husseux. Alberto Michan, of course, with Nabal de Trevera. The Israeli Olympian with a win behind him already this week with Bugatti. Alberto fenced down going into the triple combination. Few of them just getting the fours spread around the course now. Going to leave them at the 4 at 77.29. 4 there for Alberto Michan to put them into 14th place at this point. Alexis Sokolov and Kalsiet EBZ. Really nice rounds last week in the big classes as well for the 21-year-old. Sitting on the 8 clears at the moment, coming into the closing stages of this CWD jump-off. It's a 9-year-old, really looked so smart last week as a pairing. And coming with such confidence this week as well. Just getting back in the driving seat for this vertical here. Nicely done. Oh, and just unfortunately gets a little close to that oxer. 1 or 2 just then starting to be wary of the back bar, but just gets a little close to the front instead. Sitting on the 4 at this stage. So she's going to go away from these 2 weeks with some good results behind it. She's going to be happy enough with for the 21-year-old. A really nice step up for her through the classes in the latter part of Major League this year. Take us on to Alec Lawler now with 4 goals. Grand Prix winners in Traverse City as well before now too for the Californian. And the Lawler show jumping the 11-year-old gelding Holsteiner by 4 fashion. Same breeding in terms of stallion as that of Kent Farrington's ride from a little bit earlier on with Orofina. Alec built in confidence with this small, efficient horse this year. Stepped up through those Grand Prix in Traverse City and now into the bigger classes here down at the Desert Horse Park in the latter part of the year. Just needs a little care on that last part. Time should be okay. Measures the last 77.39 and local roar goes up for Alec Lawler and for gold to put them into the jump off as clear round number 9 as we come into the last few. I think just a couple left to go in the first round of this CWD $74,200 class. Kyle King now, Coffee to Go. Those who remember this combination onto the podiums last season for Major League Jumping. Was going from Spruce Meadows, the 13-year-old Westphalian. Shinkashento 7. Not seen too much this year, this season. Good to see this combination out in the latter part of the Major League Series. Unfortunately, just gets lower that early vertical. Puts a toe on the first part there too. Carl just saying, whoa, just gives a tip of the hat. I think just coming back into the big leagues with this combination. And so, unfortunately, Design has a couple of fences down. Decided to retire there with Coffee to Go. Final combination to go is Lily Keenan and Garner Van Het Garandel Z for Lily. Las Vegas World Cup winner. Grand Prix winner in Monterey as well, over $400,000 plus class there as well. So for Lily with this well-established 11-year-old French-bred ride for her now. Good results she's had through the last few weeks as well, being up on the podium for the Trailblazers team. And just clips the back bar there, so it's going to be 9 into the jump off for tonight's big CWD class. We'll just conclude our first round as well of tonight's feature class 2, finishing on the 4 at 76.44. So Lily Keenan going into 13th place in the end with Agana. So she misses out. 9 of them will return to do battle for the prize money here tonight over Alan Wade's course. And we'll be along with that in just a few minutes' time. So we take a little breather as the arena team set up. This is what it looks like. Nicholas Pizarro will lead them out with Mike Wazowski, Patricio Pascal, Serengata, Tora Parada, Pandora, Rupert Winkelmann and Conrad, Kent Farrington, Orafina, Paul O'Shea, Carosina HD for the Trelawney Farm, Amy Miller, Cristiano, Simon McCarthy and Gotcha, and completing that top 9 is Alec Lawler. And for gold as the last to go as well, the local riders here as well. So plenty of representation from a good number of nations there and states and places. We look forward to that. It's just going to be around about 5 minutes away. And then on to the jump off. We'll see you then.
You could hear it? Yeah. Well, I have good ears.
So it's going to the jump-off of tonight's CWD 5-star class. These are the qualifiers for that jump-off. Nicholas Pizarro, Patrizio Pascal, Dora Parada, Rupert Winkelmann of Germany, USA's Ken Farrington, Paul O'Shea of Ireland, Canada's Amy Miller, Simon McCarthy of Ireland, and Alec Lawler with for gold will be last out. Another lovely evening and what's been a beautiful day here in California, in the region, and in local La Quinta too. A stunning day, just up into the late 60s, early 70s. Beautiful sunny day, and now just, of course, a little bit cooler over into the evening. Of course, we're in the desert, and that is the balance. But it is a beautiful, clear evening, as you can see, the lights shining down, and we are almost set to go. Rob Meadows and his team having produced wonderful lighting for this arena here, and we're very grateful to all the partners here as part of the changes, renovations, developments of the Desert International Horse Park. It's just such a stunning venue to come to now and be a part of. Of course, they've got a big few months coming up as well. Looking forward to that through to January, the inverted commas winter in this part of the world, but it is going to be a lovely time for those to be competing here. Perfect conditions for the horses as well, and so with the stage in perfect order for tonight's competition, we're going to be rounding up proceedings with 9 going against the clock. Short course of 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the easy bit. And then new fence 10 after that, coming to the CWD vertical. 2 parts of what was the Birch triple combination, just the first 2 parts, A and B. We've taken away C, and we've given room to have a run down to 12, which is going to be the last. The rocks with the teal poles on there to give their colouring. So starting off with Nick Pizarro and Mike Wazowski for this 10-year-old Hanoverian by Belus de Reventon for Nick. One of 3 for Mexico to go in our opening 3. The first salvos being fired by the Mexicans here. So Nick Pizarro to show us the way with this very nice looking combination that we've seen a few times now as part of Major League. We certainly did down in Mexico. Only loop back to this Woodpecker vertical at 3. So this is where it then changes course. Tidally back to the CWD white-poled vertical. Looking good, and a good start. So going clear there for Nicholas Pizarro and Mike Wazowski. And neat time at 37 seconds for the opening run. Short, sharp, tidy course for this jump off. So Nicholas Pizarro giving them a little bit to think about. Probably wanted to can get a little more speed at it, just physical ground speed, but that was really efficiently done by Nick all the way around there. Smooth round to put them in a solid position. We'll see where they finish in the end. Patricio Pascal and Seringat. The 16-year-old now that's been in his stable for a good few months. Another very experienced rider. Patricio to go and chase down his teammate Nick Pizarro. Again, just about here how close they dare. He just goes for a tight run, just comes a little across it and has it down as they just get low and just then catching behind. So finishing on a score of 8 there, 37.9. So just a little longer than Nick Pizarro, but I think by that point, Patricio just taking a little of the power off. Good chase down to the last to get the stride they want for a good bouncing finish. So Nick Pizarro stays ahead. Another of the Mexican teammates now, Toro Parada and Pandora on this 14-year-old Hanoverian. Good start. Fast feet to the ground there. Oh, and an audible groan. So Nicholas Pizarro once again. So Nick will stay in the lead for that 34.59. So it shows we can get some faster speed. But again, it was just fast foot speed there to help things along. But it is just going to be one fence down for Toro Parada. Goes into second so far. Nicholas Pizarro with the double clear keeping the lead. And what, 6 left to come? Rupert Winkelmann now of Germany. Konrad, 9-year-old here for the Eichendorff horses. Horse by Cristallo. And he goes for a nice tidy turn up there to the CP fence. Coming off that left rein. That was a good move. Just gets a nice curve in at that vertical. Then again, quickly away from the Oxer. Oh, and just gets a little laboured over the vertical, I'm afraid. So they have 4. Sits back for the first part there. Just gives it a little scare. And he's going to be about 35, 36 as well. 36, 36 as the final time finishing on the 4. So those are two of them already at the moment have got faster than Nick Pizarro, but just having a fence on the way with Mike Wazowski to keep him in the lead on the double clear. It's a fence down for Rupert Winkelman and Conrad. 5 left to take a spin. Naturally fast pair from that first round, as we saw, all ready to go quickly. Will be Kent Farrington next to Nora Fina, Grand Prix winners on several occasions this season already. This one should be one that's right up their street. Kent with the 10-year-old mare By for Fashion. Ottawa Grand Prix winners. Kent would definitely have the foot speed here quicker than Nick Pizarro's Mike Wazowski. Gives himself a long run up to this first. Fires the engines. That's really tight. Tight to the Ruperts. And a really confident shot across the Oxers. Throws him a little bit wider there, some a little bit tighter than that, but he kept up momentum all the way. Just keeps chasing. This is going to be faster than Nick Pizarro. Run for home for Kent Farrington and Orofina. Just gives them a nice setup to the last 32.72 and shows how fast they can go. Kent Farrington now leads this CWD jump-off class here tonight. Terrific shot there and a really blistering fast round to finish it off. That is going to take some catching. Nick Pizarro into second, some 4 1/4 seconds behind. Arturo Parado in third with Pandora. Paul O'Shea Caracina for the Trelawney Farm on this 11-year-old. She's got the age, but hasn't possibly been quite as tested against these fast rounds just as much yet, but this will give her a good opportunity to show what they can do. Now he comes in on a different rein, different angle. That of Rupert and to Kent. Kent Farrington, as I say, with Orofina, just efficient in places, but just such fast foot speed as well. That's a nice tidy turn back. Don't think Paul is going to go flat to the boards here. He knows a double clear is in for good money. He's giving it enough pace here. Very hard to get that up to that of Kent Farrington, but this one is looking for a top 3. Oh, and just gets a little tight to the double. On the 4, really nice and pairing together, and for the Chestnut Mare, we'll see more of her, I'm sure, into the next season, moving up into the big classes. 37.58, and would have gone third, goes a little bit further down with the fence down into 5th place for Paul O'Shea. First, the 3 left to go is going to be Amy Miller and Cristiano for the future adventures. Now, for those that follow the team competition as well this year, they've seen how often she's been very quick with this horse. This could certainly give Ken Farrington something to think about. Good start. Can she get a little bit tighter back to this Woodpecker? Vertical just gets a little move across it, a little bounce there. Then gets the drive going. Ken Farrington and Orofina that just had hooves of fire. About 35, 36 she's going to be at in the end. 36.03, and still leaves her on a good time to go into second place with Amy Miller and Cristiano, giving it a good effort, but still Ken Farrington down at 32.72 for the American to still lead at this point, but Amy happy enough with that one into second for Cristiano. Nick Pizarro now down into third with a solid round there of the double clears at this point. So McCarthy then, Gotcha. 3-time winners on the Major League Series this season. In terms of the team competition, Rockridge Farms of Norman, Indiana's 11-year-old Holsteiner mare. Simon McCarthy then, with this fast-footed runner. Good move away from the Oxer. Still trying, still quick. Kent home in 32. He's not going to quite get there, but he might squeeze into second place with this one. 33.59, and that is a very solid round from Simon McCarthy once again, with Gotcha this time into second spot. So Kent Farrington with a pretty unassailable lead. They've tried. Simon McCarthy gave it a very good run with Gotcha into second place. Amy Miller in third on 36.03. Final one to go is Alec Lawler and For Gold. Grand Prix winners in Traverse City this season. This another step up for them on the 11-year-olds. Same sire as Orofina for Fashion, for Gold. On the mare side, going back to Heraldic. Now, can the Californian raise the local flag? Good try there, just a little touch. Gets a quick move away. He is chasing. Screams coming in. He's really giving this a fast run. He's giving this all. Oh, and it just gets too fast down there. Gave it every good effort. Just at last, just having to take a little pull. Look at the time, 33.4. And so would have gone second there for Alec. But again, the speed starts to catch up with him in the end and loses the height at the vertical. But but a very good shot by them, so puts them into 5th in the end for Alec Lawler and for goal. But a win for Kent Farrington and Aura Fina for that lovely horse there to finish into #1 spot in this CWD. Just short of $75,000 class. Simon McCarthy in second with Gotcha close on his heels. Amy Miller in third for the Canadian with Cristiano. Nick Pizarro with those 2 really lovely rounds with the clear at 37 into 4th place, and 5th place for Alec Lawler chasing there on the fastest 4. 6th place to Arturo Parrada, 7th to Rupert Winkleman, and 8th place to Paul O'Shea. Rounds off our coverage for today. Short, sharp, sweet, and we will be back with an extended day tomorrow. 2-star Grand Prix in the morning, winning round in the afternoon, and the evening entertainment culminates in the $450,000 Grand Prix as well. That's a tasty Saturday to come from the Desert Horse Park. Looking forward to that. In the meantime, have a lovely evening, whatever part of the day it is, wherever you are. Get some rest. We'll see you for a stacked day on Saturday here in California.
And alongside the best riders in the world, CWD Cellier stands out for its innovative custom saddles and the quality of its equipment. And Jean-Philippe joining us on behalf of CWD. Great to have them as a presenting sponsor of the FEI 5-star competition this evening. What a great evening of competition. And remember, tomorrow night we also have the $450,000 CSI 5-star Major League Show Jumping Grand Prix. And that's where we have the Irati's Village Jump for the Village fundraiser. And again, make sure you join us for the Irati's Village Jump for the Village fundraiser. And that is going on tomorrow. The Desert International Horse Park supporting Irati's Village, founded by Jennifer Crooks. And we hope that many of our exhibitors and spectators will join our efforts. Irati's Village, a family-style, permaculture-based village for orphan children with comprehensive care for the children they serve. Deeply rooted in the local community, it is intended as a model that can be adapted to empower and transform orphan care systems. As a portion of all drink purchases tomorrow at the Tiki Bar, go to Irati's Village. Also, Dolman Jump has built a custom Irati's Village fence to be part of the first round of the Grand Prix. Individual and groups can choose how much to pledge for each time a rider clears the fence in round 1. And also additional donations, and that goes to a great cause. Irati's Village, Jump for the Village. Additional donations can be made through pledge cards located at the bar and through VIP, as well as at the Irati's Village table inside the VIP. So we're going to bring our top 3 back in the ring. This was great competition. 9 qualified for the jump-off, and out of those 9, and they represented 5 nations. And those 5 nations, Germany, Ireland, Mexico, Canada, the USA. Kent Farrington, what an amazing rider coming out on top aboard Aura Fina. We're going to bring our top 3 back into the ring for these presentations. There's the rider in 3rd place. And a great rider for Canada, Amy Miller, aboard Cristiano. Second, the rider riding for Ireland, Simon McCarthy and Gotcha. That winning horse owned by Kent Farrington LLC, and that is Aura Fina, and that is the 10-year-old mare right there. What a phenomenal rider for the host nation of the United States of America. Winning rider, Kent Farrington. And Kent Farrington, that was an amazing ride in that jump-off round. And that gas pedal all the way down from the start to the end of that jump off. Winning time, untouchable, 32.72 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to honor our champion, I would ask you to please rise for the playing of the national anthem of the United States of America. What a great combination, taking home top spot in the FEI 5-star competition this evening. Kind of presented by CWD. And Jean-Philippe, on behalf of CWD, joining us as our wonderful presenter here. And Jean-Philippe will join Kent Farrington and Orafina as we will have the official win photograph taken. That rider for the USA, what an amazing time, 32.72 seconds as they take home first place. CWD is a high-range saddle maker dedicated to the riders' sporting performances, focus on politics of innovation and investments in all fields. At CWD, sport and performance are an obsession. Alongside the best riders in the world, CWD Cellier stands out for its innovative custom saddles and the quality of its investment. So we'll get that official photograph into the history books with our champion. And Alan Wade from Tipperary, Ireland, brilliant as always. Designing such a great course. That first round, 9 qualified for the jump-off, and just a brilliant job in that jump-off round done by our champion, Kent Farrington, aboard Orafina. That rider calling home Wellington, Florida. Well, just one more thing to do. Kent Farrington, if you would please do us the honors and lead our field in our victory ride. Certainly, what a great champion for the USA. Kent Farrington aboard Orafina, untouchable in the jump-off round. Well, that winning time, 32.72 seconds. Simon McCarthy for Ireland and Gotcha in second. Amy Miller for Canada and Cristiano in third place. But brand new cooler aboard Orafina, well-deserved cooler. What a great champion. That is Kent Farrington as he takes home top honors in the FEI 5-star competition, kind of presented by CWD Cellier. And certainly what a great evening of competition right here under the lights in the beautiful Grand Prix Stadium. USA in first, Ireland in second, Canada in third place, with 5 nations that qualified horses and riders for the jump-off. And great thanks to CWD Cellier, our presenting sponsor of the FEI 5-star competition. And Jean-Philippe joining us for these presentations. And great thanks to everybody else who joined us on behalf of the Desert International Horse Park. Thanks for a wonderful evening of competition. Tomorrow, well, we have another edition as we go into Saturday. That will be FEI competition all day. Tomorrow night, 6 p.m., $450,000 CSI 5-star Major League Show Jumping Grand Prix. Have a wonderful rest of this beautiful Friday. We'll see you tomorrow.